All right. Looks like it's working today. Hi everybody, welcome to your 12 o'clock beginner flow. My name is Kaylee. If you haven't taken a class with me yet, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. If YouTube kind of throws us off of the live stream, please check back at my personal YouTube later, Kaylee Nelson Yoga. I'm uploading all of my beginner classes there, and I'm really excited about this one. We're going to focus on back bends today. If you'd like to donate for any class that you take across any Black Swan platform, you can do so right here at blackswanyoga.com/live. You should see a button at the top of the screen. And then we'll wait just about 30 seconds or so to see if anyone pops on here. It's almost 12 o'clock. If you have any blocks or anything that might resemble a block or a prop at your house, I would recommend 2 blocks for class today. But, you know, of course, they're always optional. I will get started in just one moment. All right, today's beginners class is going to focus on back bends. Back bend postures can be a little bit daunting, especially for people that are new to the practice. A lot of times when we're on our bellies doing back bends, our breathing can be a little bit stunted and that's uncomfortable. Also, our belly down back bends, we don't get a lot of big range in the shape, so it can feel like we're doing a lot of work and not getting a lot of flexibility out of it. But we'll find that some back bends really help bring a lot of back strength. And back bends are also a really great complement to this sort of hunched over position that we might be doing a lot of at our computers. So hopefully you enjoy class today and know that really there's not a goal or a need to get a big range of motion in any back bends. Just find something that's comfortable for your body and that feels safe for you. So let's get started seated, and we'll just take a moment to check in. So you can sit on shins on a block if you have a block, or you can sit on your bum. Sit the spine up nice and tall. Relax the shoulder blades, close the eyes. And just take a moment to feel and to become present with your experience, with yourself. And notice any sensations in the body, thoughts in the mind, or feelings or moods that might be tangible. And just notice your breath as it moves in and out of your nose or your mouth. Just gently observing. And let's deepen our breath here. Take a full inhale in through the nose. Fill up your belly, fill up your lungs. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Again, take a big inhale here, fill up. And open mouth, let it go. One more time, biggest breath of your day. Sip it in all the way to the top. Hold it. Sip in a little more if you can. And then big sigh, let it go. We'll seal the lips now. Just a couple breaths, breathing in and out of the nostrils. Smooth and steady breaths in and out of the nose. And when you're ready, we'll open the eyes and add some movement in. So inhale to reach the arms up overhead, reach through the fingertips. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, reach the arms up, stay up. Bring the right hand down to the side and stretch your left arm up and over, side body stretch. Take a full breath here, maybe the chest or the gaze gently turn up. Stay for your exhale, softening in. Back to center, inhale, both arms reach. And second side, left hand down, right arm up and over. Take a full breath here, creating space in the side of the body. Softening, exhale, staying. Back to center, inhale, both arms reach. And exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands, bow the head. Take a full breath here, breathing into the length of your spine. And then come up to a tabletop position, hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide. Really connect the fingertips and the root of the fingers into the mat. Tuck the toes and lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, just take a moment to adjust your stance as you need. You can always walk the feet back a little bit or forward. If the spine feels a little bit rounded here, take a bend in the knees. I like to take a bend in the knees here just to bring a little bit more length into the spine and take some tension out of the back of the legs. Hands press the ground away as we send the hips back. And can we feel our core nice and connected here, hugging the lower belly in so we're not pressing the butt up too much. Take a full breath in downward facing dog. We'll be here many times throughout class. And take a full breath out. Gaze between your hands, breathe in. Take little steps up to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins. Press and lift your chest forward, halfway lift. Pause here. Hug the navel in, reach the shoulder blades back as you press the top of the head forward. We'll take one breath here, half lift, and exhale to fold, release. Inhale to stand all the way up, reach your arms up. Bring your hands to your hips as you breathe out. And then for a moment before we get moving, I want us to just feel out our pelvis area. So if you can find the little bony prominence here, your hip points. So let's put fingers or thumbs or palms on hip points and just try to feel out where the hip points are. When we're moving through back bends, I want us to feel the hip points lifting up. So when we're in kneeling positions or as we work into Camel Pose later, think about the hip points lifting up, and that action helps to lengthen the tailbone down so that we can take compression out of the low back. Very key as we're back bending. And then another thing, just triangular down from the hip points are pubic bone. So pubic bone is a very important area for our face down back bends. I want us to really think about the pubic bone pressing into the ground. And again, as we're laying down on our bellies, the pubic bone pressing down creates that same action of the tailbone lengthening. If we were to press our hip points down to the ground, then that would make our tailbone press back, but we don't want that compression in the low back. So when we're on our bellies, think about pubic bone pressing into the ground. Awesome. Let's get some breath and movement here. We're going to move continuously for a moment, and then we'll step away and dive more into technique. So inhale, reach the arms up. Hands to heart, breathe out, just finding rhythm to your breath. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Hands to shins, inhale, halfway lift. And fold, breathe out. Stand up, inhale, rise. Hands to heart, breathe out. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold. Simple breath and movement. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Stand up, inhale, rise, arms up. Hands to heart, breathe out. We'll add on. Inhale, arms stretch. Bend the knees, exhale, empty the lungs as you fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step your right foot back. Bring your right knee down as you breathe out. Reach the arms up. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, kneeling crescent lunge. Down dog, exhale, plant the hands and step the feet back. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Plank pose. Inhale to roll forward. Back to down dog. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, forward facing dog. Exhale, bring the knees down and step the right foot up between the hands. Reach the arms up. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, hands down, step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. And fold, breathe out. Stand up, inhale, arm stretch. Hands to heart, breathe out. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold. Second side. Halfway lift, inhale. Step the left foot back, bring the left knee down, exhale. Arms up, inhale, lift through the chest. Down dog, exhale, hands down, step back. You got plenty of time. Take a full breath in, down dog. And a full breath out. Plank pose. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale to lower all the way down to your belly. Stretch your arms back. Locust pose. Inhale to float the hands, the feet, and the chest above the mat, like you're hovering above the ground. Let's take one more full breath here in locust. Exhale, hands down, press up to all fours, and then back to downward facing dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, knees down, step the left foot up between the hands. Anjaneyasana, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fingertips down, step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. And fold, breathe out. Stand up, inhale, reach up. Hands to heart, breathe out. One more round. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step the right foot back, bring the right knee down. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, down dog, step back, take your time. Plank pose. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale to lower all the way down. Keep the hands right where they are, but just hover them above the mat. Take one breath in, lift the chest, press through the tops of the feet. Exhale, hands down, press back to downward facing dog. That was low cobra. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, knees down, step the right foot up between the hands. Inhale, arms stretch up, kneeling lunge. Exhale, fingertips down, step to the top, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in, and fold, breathe out. Just warming up the body. Inhale, stand up, reach up. We got one more side. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, reach, and exhale, fold. Half lift, breathe in, Left foot back, left knee down, breathe out. Reach the arms up, inhale. Down dog, exhale, step back. Plank pose, inhale, roll forward. Lower all the way down, exhale. This time hands stay down, press the ground away, full cobra, breathe in, lift the chest any amount. Exhale, lower down and press back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, down dog. Exhale, knees down, step the left foot up. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down, step to the top, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. And fold, breathe out. Stand up, inhale, reach through the fingertips. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale to reach. Exhale, bend the knees and fold, just standing. Halfway lift, inhale. And fold, exhale. Stand up, inhale, reach. Hands to heart, breathe out. Just one more at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Half lift, inhale. And fold, exhale. Stand up, inhale, arms up. Hands to heart, breathe out and pause. Close the eyes and just take a moment to feel the body, feel the breath, feel stillness as energy comes to a stop. And we'll continue to breathe and move, but we'll dive a little bit more into technique of some of these belly down back bends that we just did in our salutations. So let's reach those arms up, inhale, and then fold forward, exhale. Inhale to halfway lift, and then plant the hands and step back to a plank pose. So step one foot back at a time. And know that anytime you take a plank pose, you can bring the knees down. Spread the fingers wide, press the ground away. Take a full breath in your plank, and then exhale to lower slowly all the way down to your belly. I like to bring the knees down and then lower down my thighs, hips, belly, and ribs. Kind of like a worm wiggling down to the ground. Once here, prop up onto your elbows. So bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. And then interlace the fingers together and press the edges of the hands into the ground. So it's kind of like thumbs up here in this interlaced finger position. Elbows are about underneath the shoulders or even a tiny bit forward. And then that chest is lifted up. So we're propping up here. With the elbows, press down into the mat. And then also gently pull those elbows back. So there's no movement here. There's just this energetic traction back with the elbows that helps us to lift the chest. And then anchor that pubic bone into the ground and see how that helps to sort of lift your belly up and take compression out of the low back. Press through the tops of the feet. This is Sphinx pose. Take a full breath in Sphinx pose. And then forearm plank, kneeling. As you exhale, press the forearms down and then start to lift up the ribs, the belly, the hips, and the thighs. Keep the knees and the elbows pressing into the ground. And this time we curl that butt under. Really starting to feel our abdominals wake up. We want to feel that midsection as we're moving into our back bends. Let's take one more full breath here, forearm plank. And exhale, slowly come back down, thighs, hips, belly. Awesome work. Let's release the fingertips behind us now. So you can let the chest come down, let go of that Sphinx pose, stretch the arms back. To start, press the tops of the feet into the mat. I want you to think about the big toe pressing down and even the top of the pinky toe pressing down as well. For here, Locust Pose, let's lift the chest up, float the hands up, palms are facing the ground. And then still that pubic bone presses into the ground. You might feel light glute engagement happen here as that pubic bone presses down. With the fingertips, reach. With the arms, lift. With the shoulder blades, slide them down the back. Reach the crown of the head forward. There's space and freedom in the neck. If you'd like, maybe you float the feet above the mat as well. Take a full breath here, Locust Pose, and exhale, lower down. Now let's bring those hands back underneath the armpits here. So fingertips just right underneath the armpits or the front of the shoulder here. Spread the fingers wide and press them into the ground just as we set up. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, maybe so much that the knees hover above the ground, and then hug the elbows into the sides. We're coming into baby cobra, the least satisfying of our face down back bends. So let's lift the chest up. And then we're not using arm strength here. We're simply using spinal muscles. So this is a great back strengthener. Maybe you even hover the hands just a centimeter above the mat. Shoulder blades strong as they pull down. That chest is lifting and the elbows keep hugging in. Again, pubic bone presses into the mat so we can support the low back. Take a full breath here, low cobra. And exhale, soften back down. Next step on low cobra is full cobra. So this time hands will press into the mat. We're using that leverage of the ground. And we'll get a little more range here. But again, no, it's not about range of motion or your flexibility. It's finding something that's reasonable and comfortable for your back. So with the hands, press the ground away and lift the chest up. Any amount here that works for you. We're not going to arms straight. We do want to keep some kind of bend in the elbow, but we can be hovering just above the mat, or maybe we're a little higher up. Again, we press the tops of the feet into the mat, pubic bone into the mat, hug elbows in, lift through the chest. Take a full breath in. This is full cobra. And then very slowly, we'll come right back down to the belly. Awesome, Mark. Let's tuck the toes, press up to all fours, and then back to downward facing dog. Option to stay in downward facing dog, or let's go ahead and bring the knees back down and come to child's pose. You can sink the bum to the heels, relax the forehead down. Know that child's pose is sort of like a home base, so you can visit this posture anytime during any class that you take, anywhere ever that you'd like to just pause, reconnect to your breath, or take care of yourself or do something a little different. So child's pose is here for you. When you're ready, downward facing dog, hands press, hips back. Inhale to lift your right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot up between the hands. And if that foot doesn't get all the way up there, you can grab the back of the calf and bring it up. And then bring the back knee down. We're coming to Anjaneyasana. So reach those arms up and then release the hands to the hips. I like to untuck my back toes. That's just a preference. You can keep them tucked or press the top of the back foot into the mat. And then we just check in that our front knee is stacked above the front ankle, that front shin is vertical. We're not just sinking in here really heavy. We have a little bit more integrity and lift in the shape. With the hands on the hips, let's make sure that our pelvis is oriented forward. And again, with those hip points, let's think about lifting the front rim of the pelvis up. So as if we were tucking our hip points up into our chin, we don't want that butt to press out behind us. You can see how that can compress the low back. So lift the front rim of the pelvis up, and you can really feel that out if you do it with your hands. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Lift through the chest, reach up through the top of the head. And maybe it feels good to even press that chest up to the sky and take your gaze slightly up. So just a gentle back bend here, lifting up the hip points, lifting up the chest. Maybe there's a subtle arch in the back. Take a full breath in and a full exhale. Inhale, let's reach the arms up, come back to that long spine, and exhale to frame the front foot with both hands. Keep the left hand on the mat and reach the right arm back, palm faced out. Option to stay right here, or if you can, let's bend the back knee and catch that left foot, hugging the heel towards the bum. So we're just opening up through that left quadricep and hip flexor, the front of the left thigh. With the foot, press the hand away. With the hand, hug that foot into the bum. Turn the chest. Let's take a full breath in. And then exhale, gently release the foot back down. Let's reach the right arm up to the sky in a gentle twist position. Tuck the back toes and lift the back knee just to get a little bit more work in this gentle twist. Notice if the hips press out to the side, can we hug the bum back into the center? Take a full breath here. Press that left hand into the ground. Exhale, hand down, and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Roll forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground, nice and slow. Stretch the arms back for locust pose. Inhale to float the chest, the hands above the mat, option to float the feet. Reach fingertips back, press pubic bone down. We'll take one more breath in. Exhale, hands down, press up to all fours and back to down dog. Second side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step the foot up between the hands. Do what you got to do to get it there. You could even bring that back knee down to start to help get that foot up. And then back knee does come down. We press into the foot and the knee, and we reach the arms up for kneeling lunge, Anjaneyasana. You can untuck the back toes or keep them tucked. Release the hands to the hips. And then same time to check in here on this side. Can we get the pelvis pointing forward, hip points pointing forward. And with those hands on the hips, let's think about lifting that front rim of the pelvis up. So again, butt does not poke back. We think about that tailbone lengthening down, aka the hip points pulling up, so we can find this nice evenness through the spine once we arch back. Bring the hands to the heart, thumbs pressing to the breastbones, lift through the chest, and there's just this gentle engagement and pull of the lower belly in. Maybe it feels good to lift the gaze up to the ceiling, and even imagine your chest was pointing up to the ceiling as the shoulders roll back, and there might be a gentle arc in the spine. Keep pressing strongly through the front foot and the back knee. Breathe in here. And full exhale, you got this. Inhale, come back up, reach the arms high. And exhale to frame the front foot. Right fingertips stay down, left arm reaches back as the chest spins to the left and that palm faces out. This is a great place to stay as we work into the front of the right hip. Or maybe you bend the back knee and you catch the foot. On this side, I actually have to straighten out my front leg, catch my foot, and then re-bend into the knee. And then you can hug that heel towards the bum, but with the foot a little bit of resistance, press into the hand. Chest keeps turning to the left. Take a full breath in. And exhale, gently release the foot if you had it. Stretch the arm up, gentle twist. To elevate this twist, we'll tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. My right hand is pressing the ground away. And notice if the hips wanted to shift off to the left, hug into the center, strong glutes. Breathe in this twist. Exhale, hand down, and make your way back to downward facing dog. Plank pose, inhale, roll forward. Exhale, knees down, lower all the way down to your belly. Cobra pose, press the ground away and lift the chest any amount, hug the elbows in. Exhale, lower and head back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog, option for child's pose, water, or take a moment to sit. We'll move through 2 rounds of standing postures and just to break up some of the back bend work here. Downward facing dog when you're ready, here we go. From down dog, inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step the foot up between the hands. Do what you gotta do to get the knee above the ankle. Bring the back heel down. Come up to warrior two. So we'll rise up, windmilling the arms open. And then just for a moment, release the hands to the hips. We'll check in with the feet. Heels are relatively in one line. If this is too much intensity for the thighs, step the back foot in. If it's not enough sensation, step that back foot back a little bit. With hands on the hips, can we make sure that pelvis is nice and level and even so we're not dipping forward or back? We find this level quality that helps us to find length in the spine. And then again, notice if those hip points are dipping and the bum is pressing back, can we lift those hip points up? And then stretch the arms apart. Welcome broadness in the chest and the upper back. Warrior two. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Straighten the front leg. Reach the right arm forward. Bring the right fingertips to the right shin or to a block outside of the right leg. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. You can stretch those left fingertips up. The feet stay firmly rooted in the mat. The legs are nice and strong, and our core also nice and strong. And then here, as we keep that length in the spine, see how it feels to turn the chest more towards the ceiling. Breathe in here, triangle pose. Exhale, re-bend into the knee, warrior two, rise back up. Flip your front palm, reverse warrior. Inhale to stretch the right arm up and back, left hand slides down the back leg. Exhale, low lunge, frame your front foot. Let's step back to downward facing dog. Second side, right away. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step that foot up between the hands. Do what you gotta do. Bring the back heel down. Warrior two, take your time, rise up. And then just to start, hands to hips. Then check in with your shape. Heels about in line. That back foot is slightly turned in a little bit is my preference. And then the hips. And notice if we can find that nice level quality of the hips. We have that vertical front shin, again, knee above ankle. Is our bum pressing back, or can we lift those hip points up to take compression out of the low back, to welcome length in the spine? From here, we'll stretch the arms apart. Feel that broadness across the chest, across the upper back as the fingertips reach in opposite directions. Take a full breath in, warrior two. And a full breath out. We'll straighten the front leg, reach the arms forward, Trikonasana, triangle pose, left hand to shin or a block as the right arm reaches up. And then don't lose that connection of the feet, heavy pressing the ground away. That gives strength for the legs and the core. We can keep our knees and our hips soft here. There's no need to ever force the pelvis into a position. So you can think about that right hip just gently turning up till it stops. Then from there, we can turn the chest up towards the ceiling, just a tiny bit. Take a full breath in. Back to warrior two, re-bend the knee, come back up. Flip your front palm, reverse warrior. Keep the bend in the front knee as you stretch the left arm up and back. Low lunge, frame your front foot. And then downward facing dog, we'll step it back. A moment in down dog, you can paddle it out. Always the option to incorporate a vinyasa, that transition to the ground, any way that you like between any sequences. And one more little sequence here. So inhale your right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot up between the hands. Again, getting it up there, knee above ankle. Press down strongly through the front foot and the ball of the back foot, so the back heel is lifted. Come up to high lunge, reach the arms up. In our high lunge, just like in our kneeling lunge, we find the hip points pointing forward, the chest forward, whole body is oriented towards the front of the mat. Again, let's release the hands to the hips. And then lift that front rim of the pelvis up. So we might feel this length of the tailbone coming down. That might even cause our back knee to bend, and that's totally fine. So welcome integrity in the spine here, please. And then keep hands where they are, lift through the chest, and then release the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. If you don't quite have the mobility in the shoulders to interlace the fingers, you can use a small towel or a shirt or anything you have around you to make a connection here of the hands behind you. And then let's reach those knuckles towards the ground. Keep lifting the front rim of the pelvis up as we lift the chest up to the sky. The belly is nice and strong, supporting your shape, supporting the spine as it finds this even arch through the low back, mid back, and upper back. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, release the hands, reach the arms back up. And exhale to frame the front foot, hands down, step back to downward facing dog. Stay or inhale, roll forward, and exhale, lower all the way down. Cobra Pose. Inhale, press the ground away, lift the chest, elbows hug in. Back to down dog, exhale, hips back. Second side. Inhale, left leg up, last standing sequence. Exhale, step that foot up between the hands. Get it up there. And then pause for a moment. We check in, knee above ankle, left foot roots down, ball of the back foot roots down as the heel lifts. When you're ready, high lunge, we stretch the arms up. This pose takes a lot more stability and balance, so give yourself a break and a moment to find it. Release the hands to the hips. And then again, we find pelvis forward, ribs and chest forward, gaze is forward. Can we keep that vertical front shin here as we play with the pelvis? So you can lift those front hip points up. So again, hip points towards the sky, and it's almost like a curling of the butt under action, but we don't ever want to over tuck or overdo it. And notice here as we lift the hip points up, that might even make the back knee bend. Just go with the flow of the body. Keep lifting through the chest. And then let's release the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers if that's available. Stretch the knuckles down. Keep lifting the hip points up, hugging the lower belly in, and lifting the chest up to the sky. And then you might find as those hip points lift and the chest lifts that maybe you can slowly increase that arc of the spine. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, reach the arms up, release that grip. And exhale, frame the front foot, low lunge. We'll step back, downward facing dog. And then a moment, pedal it out here in downward facing dog. Inhale to roll forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down. I'm gonna do something a little different here. Stretch your right arm straight out to the right, palm face down, scorpion stretch. Bend the left knee and rock the weight onto the right side of your body, stamping the left foot behind you. Relax the head. That left foot, for some people, doesn't stamp down. It's okay if it hovers. If it's uncomfortable, you can put it on a block or a table. And then maybe, if the chest feels a little bit more open today, we might stretch the left fingertips up to the sky. Maybe we even bend the left elbow as if we were shooting a bow and arrow. Let's take a full breath here as we open through the chest and the front of the shoulders. And a full breath out. Inhale, slowly come back to center. And we'll take it to the second side. So left arm stretches out to the left. We'll bend the right knee and rock the weight onto the left side of the body. Foot might stamp down or not. Right hand might stay right where it is. Or maybe it feels good to reach the arm up and notice how that might pull the chest open a little bit more. Maybe we bend the right elbow as if we were about to launch a bow and arrow. Take a full breath here. And a full breath out. Inhale, slowly come back to center. And then let's release the arms back behind us as if we were setting up Locust Pose, which we are doing a different variation of. So here, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Let's float the chest up. Elevate the arms, finding our Locust Pose. Maybe you float the feet up here. If you'd like to add on to Locust Pose, let's interlace the fingers behind the back. Again, you could use the towel or shirt here to make the hands connect, and then we stretch those knuckles back. Careful that the front of the shoulders doesn't roll forward. Let's roll the front of the shoulders back as well as the shoulder blades slide down back. And then we check back in. We still have the pubic bone pressing down, the chest lifting, the crown of the head reaching. Can you even lift the forearms off of your bum, not getting heavy, but keeping integrity? Take a full breath in, Locust Pose, and exhale, gently release. Bend both knees, and windshield wiper your legs side to side, so you can let both legs fall one way and the other. And then release the legs back. Plant the hands under the armpits, press up to all fours, and then let's sit back on the shins. Sit the spine up nice and tall, and just take a moment to breathe and welcome length into the spine, welcome softness into the shoulders, into the face, into the mind, and into the breath. We're gonna play with one more back bend today. This is called Ustrasana or Camel Pose. There's a variation that I'm going to show you today that I think is a lot more gentle way to enter the pose compared to how you might see it thrown into a flow class. So if you have fear around Ustrasana or Camel Pose, try it out this way and just do what you can. Again, it's not about getting into a pose or having a big flexible back. It's about finding comfort in a shape, especially when we're coming into the spine. It's a very vulnerable area. So I like to approach this variation of Camel Pose with blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's totally okay. If you have something though that you can bring outside of the feet or outside of the hips, might be useful, but it's optional, so not a big deal. I'll show you without the blocks. We're going to bring the hands to our blocks if we have them, or just right outside of the feet. And then we're going to just gently press the hip points up to the ceiling, lifting through the chest. So this is a very gentle version of Camel Pose Ustrasana. And then let's slowly bring the hips back down. If you'd like to feel this out maybe you have a bigger range, let's come up to a kneeling position. And then here, let's bring the hands to the hip points, or you could even bring the thumbs to the upper rim of the buttocks. And then let's lengthen the tailbone down, lifting those hip points up. And then if we have blocks, we can bring the hands to our blocks behind us. Feel as the hip points lift up, the chest lift up as well. And then for a moment, let's just sit the bum down. And then once we find our blocks or even our heels or the ground, from there, we can press the hips forward any amount. So it's a myth that we have to have the hips stacked above the knees. You can have the legs coming at more of an angle, and this takes a lot of compression out of the spine. So find the variation of Camel Pose that works for you here. Again, you can start with the bum on the heels, and then you can press the hips forward as much as you'd like. Keep the hip points lifting up, the chest lifting up, and the shoulders rolling back. Take a full breath here. Take your time. Only when you're ready, we'll slowly come out of the shape. Release the bum down. You can move your props off to the side and just pause for a moment. So returning to that long spine, the soft shoulders, the soft gaze, soft breath. And just notice the effects of taking your spine into extension, of taking a lot of back bends, especially camel is a pretty big back bend. And how does the body feel? How does the mind feel? And just noticing, no judgment, no need to change. And let's come to seated on the bum, if we aren't already. Come to a cross-legged seat, and let's have the right leg in front of the left. And then we're going to scooch our heels until they're about directly underneath the knees, and then scooch the shins forward so that the shins are parallel with the edge of the mat. So this is just going to get a little bit of an outer hip opening for us. If the low back or the hips are really tight, sitting on a block, elevating the hips can really help. So let's bring the fingertips to the ground, lift up through the chest. Option to stay here if you're feeling a lot of sensation in the hips, or if you'd like to take it a little further, you can crawl the hands forward and fold over the legs. I like to flex my feet here just to bring a little more awareness and activeness into my body. And notice the sensation, outer hips probably waking up a little bit, but also getting a nice stretch. Then that spine finally gets to roll forward here, just letting it soften and misfold. Let's take a full breath in. And a full breath out. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale to slowly press back upright. And then we'll switch legs, taking it to the second side. So let's bring that left leg crossed in front of the right, and then we can scooch the feet out left and right so that they kind of come underneath the knees, opposite knees, and then we'll bring those shins forward so that they're more in a parallel with the edge of the mat position. I like to flex the feet, again, just my preference. Fingertips on the mat, lift up through the spine, beginning our fold with length. Breathe in here. And then option to fold forward any amount. Maybe hands scroll forward. Maybe we let the head relax, shoulders relax. And then just witnessing sensation in the body, in the hips. Witnessing anything that might come through the mind. Or noticing if attention has faded from the breath. Let's return for a full inhale and a full exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale to slowly press back up. And then let's release the legs. You can shake it out a little bit if you'd like. We'll plant the feet down, reach the arms forward, and let's slowly come down to our backs, nice and slow. Bring your arms out to a T, stretching arms out right and left, palms face up. And then with the feet connected on the mat, let's lift the hips up and bring them a couple inches over to the right. So press that bum back on the ground, a couple inches to the right. We'll lift the feet up, make a 90-degree angle with the legs, and then let the knees fall to the left. And bring your gaze to the right, or you can keep your gaze up to the ceiling, just checking in with the neck. A gentle twist here. Wringing out any tension from the spine, from our back bends. Welcome the belly to soften and expand with each breath. And welcome the body to find more and more ease with each second. We'll inhale slowly, come back to center. Bring the feet down, and then let's scooch those hips back through center and a little bit to the left. We'll pick the feet back up. Second side, knees fall to the right, and gaze to the left. Let the shoulder blades melt towards the mat. If you feel any tension in the low back or the hips in a reclined twist, bringing a pillow, a block, a bolster between the knees or underneath the knees might welcome some relief. And here, welcome the breath to slow down. Everything to just slow down and soften. Inhale slowly back to center. Feet down, scooch those hips back into center so we're nice and centered on the mat. Let's hug both knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze here. You can wrap your arms around your knees or your shins. Maybe you even hug your forehead up to your knees. Squeeze, hug. Thank yourself for showing up on your mat, for moving your body, for breathing. It's not always easy to step on the mat. So props to you. Thank you so much. And Shavasana, when you're ready, let's let the legs and the arms come out long. Relax and let go. And let go of effort, of tension. Just feel the body sinking into the support of the ground, into that imprint your body is making on the ground. Let the jaw soften. And use these last few minutes for stillness and rest as all of your hard work soaks in. Feel your body resting on the ground. Deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Please feel free to continue resting as long as you'd like. If you'd like to seal the practice out together, let's bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. We'll share a final breath. Take a full inhale in through the nose, filling up from head to toe. Open mouth, share your breath. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Again, my name is Kaylee. You can find me on Instagram at kaylee.yoga or YouTube at Kaylee Nelson Yoga. Thank you.